Good afternoon. My name is Specialist Hernández, and I'm going to talk about diversity and why it's important. The overall classification for this brief is unclassified for official use only. Here we got the agenda. We're gonna do the introduction, what is diversity, the pros and cons of diversity, how diversity can help in a squad, conclusion, and question. If you have questions during the brief, please hold it to the end. We're going to have some time to answer all questions. Here we got the introduction. The purpose of this brief is to inform soldiers on how diversity can help in their squad or impact their squad and why is that important. Let's talk about diversity. What is diversity? So diversity is as simple as the distinctions of people, things, or animals. Now that we know what is diversity, let's talk about a little more of the types of diversity. We got cultural, we got ethnic, we got linguistic, biological, sexual, and functional diversities. Let's go a little bit more in depth to understand how those types of diversity works. So cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is the values, beliefs, thoughts, and actions of a community or a group. Ethnic diversity is more of the tradition, the costumes, the clothes, and foods of a community or again, a group. The linguistic diversity is the different languages that it can be speak on a same geographical space. For example, here in the United States, we don't only speak English, we speak Spanish, we can speak Portuguese, and so and so. We got biological diversity or biodiversity is as simple as the difference between a human being and an animal. Let's say a lion, a giraffe, a shark, or something like that. We got sexual diversity is the various type of sexual orientations and the gender identities that a person can have. Also, and the last one is the functional diversity, that is the capabilities of a human being or an animal or a thing. For example, not all human beings can walk, or not all human beings can grab something. Now that we know what is diversity, and we talk a little bit about the types of diversity, let's talk about the pros and cons of a well-managed and not balanced diversity. So here we go. Some pros of diversity is enriching contributions, respect, points of view. It will be easy to approach to another peer or a leader, and so and so. Now let's talk about a little bit of cons. Cons can lead to lack of motivation, discrimination, communication barriers, and lack of participation on a group or a community. So saying that, you must be asking why diversity is so important. So diversity is important because you can learn for somebody else. He can bring new experience from his background or a different point of view because of his culture or ethics. That's why it's important that we know how to manage diversity, because with a good managed and well-balanced diversity, we can innovate new ideas. We can be better at solving problems. And we can learn from other people, other cultures. But with a non-well-balanced diversity, we're gonna have all this. We're gonna have discriminations. We're gonna have communication barriers. We're gonna be non-approachable, lack of motivation, lack of participation of the group or our community. Saying that, these are some of the effects of a good, well-diversity or good, well-managed diversity. So we got impacts on workforce, team trust, empathy, and productivity. Saying that, we can say that a good group, company, brigade, battalion, with a good and well-balanced diversity, we can bring all peers, all leaders on the same understanding on how people see different points of view. For example, it's not the same. It's not gonna look a problem the same way as a private first class is gonna look at it. With a good diversity, maybe that private first class is gonna think how first sergeant is gonna look at this problem, and vice versa with the first sergeant. Saying that, here we got the conclusion. We talk about what is diversity. That is the distinction of people, things, and animals. We got the pros and cons. You saw it. Lack of communication, maybe empathize more with other people, or maybe different points of view. We say why it's important, because we want a good, well-managed diversity, and the effects of diversity on a team or a squad. Questions. How can we manage diversity? Okay, we can manage diversity as simple as asking somebody else their story, their backgrounds, their cultures. As simple as that. Or for example, there's a Hispanic Heritage Month in the Army that is from September 15 to October 15, that all cultures of Latin America come together into a place. They talk, they speak, they dance, and there you can see how different, you can send your soldiers there, and you can see how different other people are. Other peers of yours, that how different they are. How diversity influenced in me. So I've seen the good side and the bad side of diversity. So when I was on AIT's on San Angelo, we were separated by native Spanish speakers and non-native Spanish speakers. And always the natives were all together. They left aside the non-natives, and that was kind of hard, because they felt like, even though they knew the language, they felt like they were ignored, if I said. Also, the good side is that when I went to my first duty station, NSA Texas, all my chop, it was well managed, the diversity, because people were always talking to each other. There was like positive vibes all around the chop, and that makes one wonder, like, what can I do for my job? What can I do? It made me want to work, help everybody else, and give 110% of me during work. Any other more questions? If not, that concludes my brief. We're dismissed. Thank you for your attention.